against one, the British, because they were outsiders, and he believed that they were unjustifiably were looting the Indians, taxing the Indians for what was rightfully belonged to them. So he even had meetings with the Britishers. He was very cordial to the Britishers. He never wanted to kill the Britishers. He just wanted to resist in the way that we are not going to comply with your ideas, and slowly and steadily we'll get together and we'll stop complying. So that was his greater idea, to not to support the Britishers one against another, right? To divide the Indian people in smaller bunches, smaller communities, and help the Britisher, right? That at the end of the day, Britishers will be the people who will resolve all our problems, and we Indians will be divided into 100 smaller chunks and parts. So he said that we are one, and if we come together, all of us, if we come back together, and if we resist the Britishers, that's only how we can get freedom from the British. So it doesn't mean he wasn't a flawed person. He had many flaws, but again, he never took, another example. He never took any kind of salary from the British until he was working, not in Africa, but after he came back from Africa. He never got a penny from the Britishers. He never charged any money for his services, or he never got any pension from the Britishers. Unlike some of the known revolutionaries, or freedom fighters, which did. So of course he was cordial to the British. Doesn't mean he was in beds with the British or something like that. He had his ideas, and he wanted to work according to them. He wasn't anything that is popular, he'll join those ideas. He had his own unique ideas, I guess. And he could have been wrong or right at many points, right? He wasn't a perfect person. He had flaws, but he did what he thought was the right thing to do at the moment.
Mhm. That's fine. So we'll move to Ishika now, and then we're going to come back to a few of the other questions, which I think can be interesting at the later half of the conversation. So, Ishika, what is your take? Do you think that within India, Mahatma Gandhi is still like a revered personality, and what exactly does Mahatma Gandhi, as in like father of the nation, exactly mean to a normal Indian, or what position in society does he hold in terms of uh, figurehead, if you may go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Shaji, for the opportunity. So, like my views on Mahatma Gandhi is kind of very like ambiguous, and I personally think that a person never gets popularity, or a person never gets attention. It is the idea that gets the attention, and ideas can be bad or can be good, or like can be like uh, depending on the thinking of the person who is like perceiving it. So I think it was the ideas of Mahatma Gandhi that were popularized, whether be it the Satyagraha or be the civil disobedience movement, and basically the peaceful resolution and the peaceful demand of a free state. That was the idea which he was professing. So, and I think some people may like perceive it to be good or bad depending on their political leanings, but we cannot ignore a fact that a coin has two sides, right? He was protesting in a peaceful manner for a free state, but on the other hand, he made the biggest blunder in the history of the subcontinent, which was the partition. Like I and like many people who belong to the political faction in which I believe in this, that the partition was the biggest blunder that ever happened in the subcontinent, which resulted into numerous massacres, numerous killings of innocent people. So I think that was a thing due to which I do not have a very good image of Gandhi in my mind. But yeah, the salt satyagraha, the Dandi March with Aditya mentioned about, that was a great initiative. Uh, for removing the tax on the salt, because salt was a basic not basic necessity, not even back then, but today also salt is a very basic necessity. And paying tax on salt is like paying tax on air and like paying tax for drinking water. It is, I think it is the same thing. So salt was a basic necessity, and I think Dandi March was one of the great initiatives taken by Mahatma Gandhi to remove the tax on salt. And other than that, there was the civil disobedience movement, where the people, I think, from where the idea of Swaraj came, I think, and the idea of what you call it, indigenous products came. To the idea was actually to promote the indigenous products and to reject the British products, and using the and from there itself the idea of the charkha came, where he motivated the Indian people to basically bring charkhas into their home and like making products out of khadi, the the clothes and all. So I think he had some great ideas, and plus also he did a like huge blunder. So like that is my take on Mahatma Gandhi.
So, Ishika, you said that a political group in India these days has a few differences with Gandhi and his initiative. One thing that you did mention was, well, of course, the separation between Pakistan and India. Uh, but that can possibly not be the only particular reason that a portion of the political spectrum disagrees or uh, I don't know if it's the right word to use, denounce the father of the nation himself. There must be some other things, some political differences that are much more deep rooted than just the separation between Pakistan and India. That uh, in this day and age, in India, we see a disassociation with the concepts of the father of the nation himself. What do you think are those particular reasons or those particular political differences, or are there political differences at all, or are there some other sorts of differences? Can you please tell us a little bit about that?
I actually do not possess a much brief knowledge on the intricacies of the partition. So, like, if you could like throw some light on it, like, I'm open to criticism.
No, I'm not asking for the intricacies of the partition. You
I can ask you something about it. Like, what exact thing or like, statement do you think Gandhi gave which led to the partition of India?
He was, I think,